Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have public hearings on this evening, but we're going to start off a little differently. We are lucky tonight to have two guests. We have Gail Driscoll Silk and Maria Barry here, who are involved, well, who are not involved, who are leading the military banner campaign in Kent and Carmel. So before we do the public hearings, I would like to invite them up to the podium.
Good evening. I'm Gail Driscoll Silk. Maria and I are here to, first of all, thank Maureen, and the Town of Kent Board for supporting this great program. Jamie McGlaskin has been on our committee, Richie Hafner's on our committee, Susie McDonough and Lynn, Susie's sister. We started this program the March or so, and it's been well received. We thank you, Board, for your support. To date, we have 210 banners between the hamlet of Carmel and Kent.
Fantastic.
We'd like to thank our highway departments, Kent and Carmel, and Putnam County Facilities and Department for displaying our beautiful banners. We thank your office for taking all the phone calls and passing on the good word that the banner program exists. To date, we have 5 women banners that currently serve, so let's go girls. We had multiple families that bought over 4 or 5 banners, so thank you to those families. Our team, Jamie, myself, Rich, Susie, and Maria, my best buddy and my sister, we were able to donate to a family in need in Lake Carmel. We replaced the small Civil War veteran banners with our large banners, and tonight we'd like to donate to the board 2 beautiful banners. This one will be put on Lake Carmel, the town Little Park area for the veterans, and we also have one for the county park. So this is our gift for you supporting our program. So we'd like to present this to the Putnam County residents on your behalf. This is for you guys. And of course, we couldn't have made it possible.
Yeah, let's get that on TV. That is magnificent.
Anybody have a camera?
And also, I have to thank the families that purchased the banners and sharing their veterans with us, their loved ones with us. Also, County Execs Marion Odell sent out 200 letters to all the sponsors who bought a flag to thank them as well. So it's definitely a big county group involvement. So our funds also, Maria and I are just residents. We have no business, no skin in the game except to show our veterans. Our group will be donating thousands of dollars to United for the Troops, the Vet-to-Vet program, National Honor Guard, and the Guardian program. So that's really, I thank you all for being so supportive. And we have a great county. It just shows we're Putnam proud of our veterans. So thank you again. If anyone has any questions, we're still going to continue the program. This vendor actually donated 4 free banners. I was able to contact Carmel High School and ask, did any student go into the service this year? They, of course, wrote to those families. 4 families responded. We have 4 free banners for those families as well.
Wow.
So it's a great banner, gentleman I deal with. So.
Well, I have to say, you thanked us, but thank you for this effort. This is amazing. And it really makes you proud when you drive up Route 52 to see it. It's really fantastic.
And this is my partner in crime, Maria.
And I have to say, I was in Western New York a couple of weeks ago, and they had, I forget which town it was, but there were some banners, but they were not as magnificent as these.
Well, Stephen was
are
born on July 4th. That's why I went all patriotic. So, and that's why we started the program. It's the 20th anniversary, and to thank our vets for our freedoms, and
Yeah.
You guys are dynamic. Your
Yeah.
committee's dynamic. 100% supported this, contrary to the rumors that came back to me, having lived in an Army family for about 50 years. And I have to recognize somebody in the audience who I supported for many years, and I've watched the Veterans Agency grow in Putnam County, and I'm so proud. There's that character in the back, Carl Rohde, who's done a hell of a job.
That's my phone.
And
That's right. That's why it's okay. Yeah, we're good.
I've seen what Carl has to go through as I managed the Veterans Home for the first 10 years and working with the vets. And believe it or not, we found homeless vets in Putnam County. And Carl followed through and with Art and are doing a tremendous job. And Maria, we can still accept more for next.
Accepting them. They won't be going up though. We have a couple that'll be going up right before Veterans Day, and then any orders that'll come in will go up in the spring.
There's a few, I got to check with Carl, but there's a few Vietnam vets that are no longer with us that I haven't seen up there, so we need to regroup, and I'll have to work with Carl and Art. But one guy I went to school with, and some of the stories he told me in Vietnam was unbelievable. And later in life, he walked the Alzheimer's walk because he faced dementia and went through a lot, and told me some of the stories. And that was a long walk for the Alzheimer's walk. And to hear those stories, they tell you. I ended up, I graduated high school when I was 17, and many of my guys in Carmel High School graduated. They were 19. We lost some, Jimmy Foster, a bunch of them. And, but I wrote letters back and forth to my guys, and some of them I still talk to now. They're alive, but some of them I lost. So, top shelf. Thank you.
Get us the information.
Call Road, thank you very much, and Art Hanley, Mary Ellen had bought their banners for them. Maria and I joined United for the Troops as well.
Good.
Excellent.
Support them.
Packing bags, boxes.
We got a big box outside, actually. I'm going to call.
But I won't keep
Okay.
This is our pledge. Thank you so much.
Top shelf.
All right. Well, I think these ladies in this committee deserve a round of applause.
Gail, on the TV, if you could just show the banner one more time, and how do they contact you for this? If you could just tell our residents.
Can I leave it with the office?
You can. And
Sure.
You know what? I'll send it out in an email. How about that?
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
And Rich, do you want to take the banners because you'll be the one putting them up?
They're identical list?
Yes.
And you want one over on Church Trail by the county park? And one, I'll try to get them up tomorrow.
That'd be great.
I'll try to get them up Veterans Day.
That'd be terrific.
Thank you so much for supporting and working with us.
Where can we put these by Memorial Park? Is there
There was a flagpole right now.
the flagpole in the middle? We'll see if we can do that. If not, if it's like just temporary, then next year maybe we can get a permanent better pole and that can stay year round.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could have it for the ceremony. Yeah.
You guys want to get it in the park, right? Want to get it inside instead of out on the street?
I think it'd be nice. We prefer the dark.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, since we're doing things out of order, let's all rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First, also, we might as well, in case we vote, can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor Fleming?
Present.
Councilman Denbow?
Present.
Councilman McGlasson? Present. Councilman Eustis?
Here?
And Councilman Ruthven is absent.
Thank you. The first thing on the agenda is the public hearing for the 2022 preliminary budget. I make a motion that we reopen the preliminary hearing.
Second.
I mean, the public hearing on the preliminary. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do you want to just come up and give a recap? I invite Yulia Kelly, our Director of Finance, to the microphone.
So last week, I went through the preliminary 2022 budget. I had also mentioned that there were a couple of changes from what was published originally because the retirement contribution rates for the retirement system came in last minute, and they actually were lower. So the budget, they were lower by between 20 and 25%. So as a result, our appropriations in the general fund, highway fund, Lake Carmel Park District and Lake Carmel Sanitation District are lower. And I can give you the figures, the differences. In the preliminary budget, the fund balance that was budgeted to be used in the general fund originally was $116,000. It went down to $48,000, the use of fund balance. On the highway fund, it was originally $329,000, went down to $276,000. Lake Carmel Park District fund balance originally budgeted was $55,000, went down to $47,000. And Lake Carmel Sanitation District, the use of fund balance went down from almost $82,000 to $63,000. So overall use of fund balance decreased from $583,000 to $435,000.
That's amazing.
So that was kind of an unexpected difference.
Question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm advocating for a change or increase in the Euro Video's contract, and I recommended something, and hopefully after discussing this further, where the surrounding communities actually pay a lot higher than even what I have offered, I hope that that's in the budget for them.
Yeah, we had discussed a fee of $250 instead of $210, and that went
And
into
it's
the...
Yeah.
reflected
That went
in
into
the
Just so the community, that the residents know, our videographer works here for the 2 or 3 hour meetings, planning board and different, but they have to go back to the studio to process it, make copies, and edit, and then work for the TV, and it takes time. And I know some of the surrounding communities that contract are $350 a meeting, so I've came to some kind of a recommendation of $250, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My other concern that I have is, and this is a concern that for 4 or 5 years at least I've been fighting for, and with the town board's help, Maureen's help, and everybody, we have a ProChamps registry program. ProChamps identifies and verifies with our local, I call it the zombie hunter, on the vacant and abandoned homes in our town, and they estimate 200 homes and estimate 70 pre-foreclosures in the process. So we have a crisis. We have something we have to deal with, and the program, which was initiated months ago, is working tremendously. The private sector is kicking in, but sometimes as you'll find out later tonight, we might have to do something. But I hope that registry fee program, the fees we collect, goes back into the building department, so we can bring back, and I know he doesn't like it, but the zombie hunter for another year or two, and let it pay for itself. It's very important. For those that are not aware, some of the houses have been demolished, but many of them, the private sector is kicking in and handling it, and we want all that back taxes and all that revenue that we can come in. So the program's working, and I hope that's in that budget that way.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Bill, I don't think Jack minds being called the zombie hunter. So, feel free.
We have a process model, and we're not finished with it yet because we want to make sure that, and tonight will be a perfect example. We had repeated offenders. Nancy, I believe, is working on something that's going to let us know maybe next week. But we have repeated offenders. You'll have the same houses that we're mowing their lawns because the banks or the lenders or whoever else is not taking care of them. And I want to go after that too, because time is money, right? So we're sending our staff back out to that same house again and again. Get their act together. We either come up with an administrative fee or some kind of a fine, and I think that's important. And I know I'm looking at you, talking to you, but I think this is very, and as a process model, we have the state money, by the way, the state is paying for this, but we have a consultant, that firm is going to dig in and get more information. Why? Because we're going to go after more money. I still feel Kent has not gotten its fair share from the county, state, and the nation, and we're doing it now. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm preaching to the
anybody
choir here.
Do we have public speak yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, we'll let them speak.
Does anybody want to talk about the budget?
Oh, okay,
Okay.
right back to me. Really quickly, so this budget is my last budget. It's Maureen's last and Bill's last. Done 8 of these. You've done 8 of these.
I've done 8 of these.
And I just think it's important to recognize that when I ran for office, which is now, over 8 years ago, one of the things I wanted to do was no tax increases. The response was, A, you can't do it, and B, even if you did it, it's only worth a couple bucks and it doesn't matter anyway, it's not a big deal. I can say through every board member's here help, every year the board has stuck to the policy of not raising taxes, and I think we can do that because we already tax the residents. As Yulia knows, we have a significant amount of money in fund balance, and that basically means we tax the residents already, but we didn't spend the money. We basically, handed them a bill, they paid the bill, and they paid us too much. And instead of refunding it to them, we just put it in the bank. And so we can spend without taxing them any further. And I just ran some quick math. I'm not as good as Yulia here, but before we had no tax increases, we basically matched the county with their increases, 1.6%, 2%, et cetera, et cetera. So if you follow the county from 2014, the county raised taxes 3.4%, 1%, 1%, 2.2, 2.5, 2.8, 2.1% each year, and it doesn't sound like a lot. But when you start adding it up, I just took my house, for example. I just have a 3-bedroom, lives like a 4, but don't tell the assessor. And it's a regular house in a regular neighborhood. And my town taxes, are about $1,900, the town portion, $1,900. If we didn't keep taxes flat, taxes for a house like mine would have increased $108, then $135, then $140, then $189, then $226, and that's the tax increase each year. And if you add it all up, what would be the difference if we just stuck with the county or went our own way? Over 8 years, we have saved the average taxpayer, as expert-like as I go through this, approximately $1,700. That's a lot of money. I mean, $1,700, including this year, if we went on the path that every other town does in the county, my tax bill would be $370 larger. And so some of us would have a bigger one, some of us would have a smaller one. I mean, that's not quite a tank of oil these days, but it counts. It's a big deal. It's plane tickets for the holidays, it's what have you. And so $1,700, almost $1,800 of savings because of the path we've charted, and I want to thank my fellow board members and Maureen and Bill, and Jamie for going down this road. I think it's great. And I mentioned my tax bill for the town, about $1,900. Total savings over the last 8 years, about $1,800. Essentially, we basically gave the town residents a year free of taxes. And the services haven't declined. We have a new playground, even though I voted against it, out there. We have new things at the town park. The town rec program is going. We do more events, winter festivals. The fireworks is just as important. If you come in and see the clerk, who was the same clerk back then, you will get the same great service. The residents have exactly what they had 8 years ago, if not more, but they saved that much in taxes. And I think it's an important thing to point out, and I think it's great. And I thank the board, Jamie, Maureen, and Bill, and Chris for a couple years for keeping to that policy. I think it's a win-win. So that's just my comment on the budget. I think it's important to realize how much money we've actually saved the residents over the last 8 years.
Well, this is a very special night because Paul actually mentioned me in a positive light, thanked me, so
Blue
I'm
moon
going
out there today.
I'm going to write this on my calendar.
And we still got December.
We still got December.
That's a holiday, too. I'm very nice around.
I have to say that when, Bill and Paul and I came in together, we were elected basically as a team in 2013, and that was a major issue for all of us, was that we can do better. I mean, it's one of the main reasons that I ran, because I thought that our funds were not being managed properly. And in the first year that we came in, the town had budgeted over $400,000 of general fund usage and had put in a tax increase, which there was nothing we could do about that, except our first night in office at our organizational meeting, we voted against a raise for the town board that night. So we gave up money that was budgeted for us because we thought it was important. And in all the years I've been here, we've only put in a raise for town board and some other town officials who aren't as thrilled as we were one time, because it's really public service. You're not here to make money. You're not here to fill your pockets. You're here to serve the public. And I'm proud that even that first year, not only did we not use the $400,000 of general fund that was slated to be used, we actually added to the general fund. And this year, with this very minor usage, which we have to thank the pension plan. It wasn't just all like nifty budgeting on our part, but we also budgeted money to be used from general fund in this year's budget, and actually we're going to be putting back about $200,000 worth of funds into our general fund. So instead of using money, we're putting it back. And I am very proud of that record. I'm very proud that every town board that I've worked with, and we've had a bunch of different members. I mean, Bill and Paul and I have stayed, but we've had other members come and go, that they all supported this for the residents of Kent, that everybody that has sat up here, as long as I have sat up here, has thought it was very important. And I ran into somebody in ShopRite today who lives in Carmel, and a couple of weeks ago they had an article in the paper saying they were going to decrease the taxes, and she went to the budget hearing and they're increasing taxes, and she said, I said to them, why don't you talk to the people in Kent and see how they're doing it? So I'm proud that we have been able to do this as long as we have, and I think if everybody's ready, I would be in favor of voting to adopt the budget this evening.
So moved.
All right, we have a, if nobody else wants to speak on the budget, do I hear a,
Do you want to close the public
oh,
hearing?
yeah. That's probably a good thing to do.
There you go, Lana.
Okay. See, even to the end, Lana keeps us straight. I make a motion to close the public hearing on the 2022 preliminary budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You want to do it?
There is a resolution.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
There's a resolution.
Actual
Are you reading it?
resolution.
I believe it.
I can do it.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution to adopt the 2020 budget, whereas on November 4th, 2021, the Town Board of the Town of Kent duly held a public hearing on the preliminary budget for the fiscal year 2022, which public hearing was held over to November 9th, 2022, 2021, at which time the public was invited to attend and be heard, and whereas the town board heard all persons desiring to be heard in the matter, and the matter of the budget for the town for said fiscal year was discussed and considered by the town board, now therefore be it resolved, the final budget as incorporated herein and made part hereof is hereby adopted as the annual budget of the town of Kent for the fiscal year beginning the first day of January 2022, and that such budget, as so adopted, be entered in detail into the minutes of the town board meeting, and it is further resolved, the town clerk of the town of Kent, Joanna D. Capella, should prepare and certify in duplicate copies of said annual budget as adopted by this town board, and deliver one copy thereof to the town supervisor, Maureen Fleming, to be presented by her to the Putnam County Board of Legislature. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we have another public hearing. I make a motion to open the public hearing on the Lake Carmel Fire Department Fire Protection Contract.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have before us tonight a 2-year contract for the, with the Lake Carmel Fire Department. And I have to say, it's been really a pleasure working with the members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department to, just in general, and specifically in terms of their budget. We've always had a very good relationship with the fire department, and we're very lucky in the town of Kent that we have 2 fire departments. We have the Lake Carmel Fire Department and the Kent Fire Department. The Kent Fire Department, we never have to approve a contract with them because they are run by a board of commissioners. They vote on, the public votes on their budget every year. Lake Carmel is a different type of department, and since I've been supervisor, they have really presented budgets that sometimes we've had to tweak a little, but considering the amazing volunteer service, I mean, people willing to run into burning buildings without compensation, they've really been able to, you know, to keep their budget reasonable. And, you know, realistically, they all live here too, so they want, they don't want to pay huge fees. This contract that they have presented to us, a 2-year contract, is absolutely amazing because I didn't even have to prod them on this one. The budget for 2022 is an increase of 0.5%, and the budget for 2023 is an increase of 0.25%. I don't think you could ask for anything better than that, especially considering the, you know, costs of everything have gone up, and they've really been very careful with their spending and their money. So I think this is an excellent contract, and I think that it makes life easier for the board next year because they already know what the fire department number is going into the 2023. So that's what I have to say. Anybody else wants to talk about the contract?
Well, here I go again. One thing that we have been involved with is our grants writer working with the Lake Carmel Fire Department as well as Kent Fire Department to be a competitor, and you're going to hear this again from me, to an active competitor in the outside funding for our fire service. And we've gotten some mini grants for them. There's a few bigger ticket items that are out there, and we're waiting. And like some of the other agencies have been successful, and we're hoping that that will work out. And I think we worked out something with their mortgage and working with them. So we're here, we're all taxpayers, and it's good that we're all working together.
Thank you, Bill. Anyone else? Anyone else want to be heard? I hadn't put this on for a vote because usually we continue public hearings just in
Next
case
week?
people want to. I don't know if we really have to.
None of this, I don't think.
I think this issue is pretty straightforward. I mean, they're an amazing fire department. I think it's an amazing contract. How does the board feel about?
Have you received any comments via email or anything?
No.
I'm okay with closing.
I mean, I'm okay with putting it over, but it just seems
No,
like,
we can get
why
it done.
bother?
Your call.
Okay.
You can do it by motion.
Yeah, why don't we do that? All right, so I make if nobody else wants to be heard on it, I make a motion to close the public hearing on the fire protection contract for Lake Carmel Fire Department.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I make a motion to accept the terms of the fire protection contract with the Lake Carmel Fire Department and to authorize me to sign the document.
Second?
Any and all documents necessary to give.
Any
it
and
back.
all. I'm not used to reading them, so, any and all documents.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is planning to accept an erosion control bond and final inspection fee. So we have documents from our planning board. This is a recommendation to accept an erosion control bond and final inspection fee for the Clearpool Education Center Maintenance Building, 33 Clearpool Road, tax map 32, period -1, 9.1. And the erosion control bond is in the amount of $3,665. The inspection fee is in the amount of $1,000. This was before the planning board, and they voted unanimously to forward this to us to accept.
Yeah, I'm okay with going forward. I'd just like to point out Chris isn't here. I know Chris has been working with the planning board to kind of get a grasp on how to reduce fees for applicants moving forward. I mean, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't talk as an attorney, but an inspection fee of $1,000, which is essentially the engineer and the wetlands guy, seems high. And Green Chimneys is a not-for-profit organization who does a lot of good things up in the town of Kent, so it just kind of popped out as a very high fee to essentially just get your hillside inspected. So I just want to point out that I know Chris is working on it, and hopefully we can tidy something up before the end of the year on that. But I'll move forward.
Okay. Yeah, and as the memo points out, that's already in their escrow account, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I get your point.
Wow. We just agreed again.
What?
You two just agreed again.
It's gonna be
Well,
a
we've
long
agreed
month and a half.
before. It's just Paul has never
long month and a half.
complimented.
All right.
So just whoever reads the resolution, the tax map number should be, instead of the last one, 9.21, it should
Should be
be
9.1.
9.1.
9.1.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, you want me to? I make a resolution to accept an erosion control surety bond and escrow for inspection fee. Whereas the Planning Board, by Resolution Number 14 of the year 2021, dated November 4th, 2021, has recommended the Town Board accept an erosion control bond in the amount of $3,665 and an escrow for the final inspection fee in the amount of $1,000 from the owner of the property located at 33 Clearpool Road, identified as tax map number 32.1-9.1. And whereas the Town Board wishes to accept the recommendations and set forth in the Planning Board Resolution Number 14 and accept the erosion control bonds and inspection fee. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby accepts the recommendation of the Planning Board that an erosion control bond in the amount of $3,665 be posted in an escrow for the final inspection fee in the amount of $1,000 be approved for 33 Clearpool Road. I make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, hopefully, so we have another, we've been doing these at almost every meeting. It's a request for approval of proposed installation of equipment, and this time it is to install Verizon wireless equipment at 146 Rescue Street, the cell tower there, which is in the landfill. We haven't figured out a better way for them to come and do more than one of these. So we've done these at the past probably 3 or 4 meetings. They've all been for different companies at different locations, but.
I think the next contract that we have to enter into should either be, we send you a letter telling you we're doing this, and if you don't respond within 30 days to the opposite, it automatically goes into effect, or you charge them a legal and administrative fee every time they put this in front of us.
We did start talking to them about
Because, I
they're
mean, how
doing
many
a better
times?
day. This is
Come
a
on.
better way to do this.
So we should just renegotiate the contract and put that in, something like, town board will receive a letter pursuant to the notice provisions of the contract. If town board doesn't do anything in 45 days or 30 days, it automatically goes into effect and the approval is granted.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Save you, Jamie.
Thanks.
I don't know if anybody wants to be heard about the installation agreement. It's pretty cut and dried.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the acceptance of the proposal of American Tower for equipment installation, whereas the town, as landlord, previously entered into a lease agreement with Homeland Towers LLC as lessee for sites within the town of Kent, including a site at 146 Rescue Street, Carmel, New York, 10512, hereinafter the lease agreements, and whereas pursuant to the site lease agreements, the lessee must obtain the consent of the town board prior to the installation of certain equipment of users of the tower on the site, and whereas the lessee is requesting the town board's approval on a proposal for the installation of equipment by Verizon Wireless at 146 Rescue Street, consistent with the proposal submitted by American Towers, a copy of which is annexed here too and incorporated by reference. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby consents to the proposal submitted by the lessee. And be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorize and direct its supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to reappoint the provisional assessor. Do we, is this something that you want to discuss further with the board, or should we move ahead with this evening?
I'd like to discuss it further with the board.
Okay, so why don't we put this over? Our next meeting is just next week. It's not a big deal, so we'll table this and put this on for next week. Okay, the next item is appoint and advertise for a court officer. So we have a while back, we hired 2 court officers. We have one kind of permanent court officer that's worked for us for some time. And we have the officers that check people in for court. We have 2, and they kind of, can work kind of flexible hours, but it has come to our attention that we frequently do not have one of those officers available. And so in those cases, our chief assigns a police officer to sit at the desk, which is a much more significant cost to the town, also probably on overtime, because we're not pulling somebody off the road to do it. We got a letter from the judges asking that we appoint retired Detective Jerry Locasio as a court officer, again, to be part of that kind of rotational system. I also think, we actually a while back had interviewed 3 people. One of them ended up not being interested in the position. We do have an application from another individual, but I think it's probably a good idea for us to have a pool of people that we can choose from, so that we don't run into the situation where we're burdening our police departments. So if the board is in favor of, I don't know, would it be appointing or hiring retired Detective Locasio tonight, I think we should still go ahead and advertise for additional officers so that we don't run into this problem where we're really taxing our police department.
We have. Within the last month, I believe we did, because we got another application, I believe, in.
We did.
I
We
thought
got
we did
another.
this because it was an issue a few months ago. But I thought it's sworn we advertised already.
I'm not sure we advertised, but they were coming in, so maybe somebody knew, or maybe somebody said something.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should interview the other individual that we had an application.
And the reason being, you need a bigger call list is some of the other court officers that are assigned to us also work other part-time jobs, be it school resource officer, substitute, or different other areas, so we need to widen it. And knowing Detective Sergeant, who's retired, he's a local guy, and his family lived here, and he lives right over the borderline, and it is available. I really want to see this happen, so.
Yeah, but I do think we need, a pool of individuals to choose from, because I think that'll help both the courts and our police department.
I'm available starting January 1.
You don't qualify.
All right.
But thanks.
Let me know, Chief. I'll make a motion to hire retired Detective Sergeant Jerry Locasio as, oh, there's a thing.
Yeah, there's a thing.
Okay, sorry. I was just gonna,
You don't have to win it.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution appointing court officer and authorize the town clerk to advertise for court officer of the Justice Court. Whereas there's a need to fill open positions for court officers of the town of Kent Justice Court, and whereas the town justices have recommended the town hire Jerry Locasio as court officer, and whereas the town Kent wish to accept the town justice's recommendation and hire Mr. Locasio, and wishes to authorize the town clerk to advertise for applications to fill the additional open positions of court officer. Now therefore be it resolved, we have a rate of pay. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of
$22.50.
Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Jerry Locasio as a court officer of the town of Kent Justice Court at a rate of pay of
$22.50.
$22.50, and be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes its town clerk, Yolanda D. Capelli, to advertise for applications for the position of court officer for the town justice court. I make that motion. Mine would have been a little more detailed, but I guess
Oh, sorry.
that'll do.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This, I just kind of threw this on because we changed the November dates so that we weren't having a town board meeting during Thanksgiving week. And we don't even have to make a decision tonight. We can wait until Chris comes back. But in December, our meetings are December 7th and the 21st. So I didn't know if the board members were interested in moving the meetings in December and having back-to-back, having the 7th and the 14th. So if you guys want to look at your calendars, we can always talk about it at the,
Chris will be back next meeting, right?
Chris will be back next meeting. I just wanted to kind of put that in people's heads and also give residents enough notice if we were going to do that. So I'll put that on for next week to have a further discussion, and then we can announce it if we're going to do it at that meeting. Okay. The next item on the agenda is from our zombie hunter, our CEO of Vacant Buildings, Jack Heer. This is regarding a property at 8 Heathcote, tax map 33.74-1-36. This property is kind of a habitual violator. And so there was an overgrowth of grass, brush, and trees throughout the property, and the property was written up October 5th, 2021. The violations weren't corrected. They were ordered to remedy the violations by 11/5. That has not been done. So we have 3 quotes well, we don't have 3 quotes. We had an attempt to get 3 proposals. We got 2, one from Bill Henry Tree Service for $850, Johnson's Tree Service failed to submit a bid, and Larry Reynolds Tree Service for $800. I recommend that we approve Larry Reynolds Tree Service, not only because they gave us the lowest price, but they have done consistently good work for the town, so it's lowest price and best value all in one. I know you want this to go, Bill.
One of the things that I promised before I leave is this house, 8 Heathcote. It belongs in a science fiction movie. The vines, you can't get into the house. I don't think there's been taxes paid either 2012, 2013. It's lost in legal whatever. And it's time that we clear it, and hopefully the building department inspector will inspect the inside of the house and around the house. We understand there's animals in the house. It's a quality of life issue that we're facing all over, and that's on the top of the priority list right now. Just talk to the neighbors.
You good? I make a resolution authorizing the correction of a violation, accepting a proposal and charge to the property owner of Heathcote Road. Whereas the code enforcement officer of the town of Kent issued an order to remedy a violation dated October 5th, 2021, directing the owner to remove rubbish, grass, and overgrowth from the exterior of the property identified as 8 Heathcote Road, Kent, New York. And whereas the order to remedy directs the owner to correct the violation or respond to the code enforcement office within 10 days, and to date, the owner of the property has not responded or corrected the violations. And whereas pursuant to Chapter 55A of the Town Code of the Town of Kent regarding property maintenance, upon failure of any owner to comply, the building inspector is authorized to correct a violation subject to the approval of the town board, and the town board wishes to authorize the building inspector to correct the violation. And whereas consistent with the town's procurement policy, the town of Kent requested 3 written proposals from contractors to correct the violation on the property and received 2 proposals in response, with the lowest proposal from Larry Reynolds Tree Service in the amount of $800. A copy of said proposals are annexed here too and incorporated by reference. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the bid of Larry Reynolds Tree Service for the correction of the violation at a cost not to exceed $800. And further resolved that the actual cost of the correction of the violation plus the accrued legal rate of interest from the date of completion of the work shall be charged to the property owner by the town in accordance with Chapter 55A-12B. I make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Should take a picture.
This,
Sleeping.
so the last item that I have on the agenda is to accept a grant awarded under New York State DEC Hudson River Estuary Program. We were notified at the end of October that the town of Kent is selected for a grant of $49,960 for the Town of Kent Natural Resources Inventory Project under the 2020 Hudson River Estuary Grant Program. This is really very major. There were $1.5 million worth of grants under this program that were awarded across the state. I do believe that the maximum grant awarded under this program was $50,000, so I don't know why we fell $40 short, but we're right up there. And although usually I guess we would have waited for Councilman Ruthven to be here, he actually asked me to do this tonight, to announce the grant, because he, really wants us to move forward. This is a really wonderful accomplishment, and it was, Councilman Ruthven working with the Kent Conservation Advisory Committee to, and our grant writer, Caleb
Duncan.
Thank you. To get this grant, to have enough information for this grant for us to be awarded it. So it's really special. We usually accept grants and authorize me to sign any and all documents. But we also tonight in the audience have two members of the CAC. We have Ann Campbell and Bill Volkman, who's the chairperson, and Bill wanted to make a statement about the grant, so I invite Bill Volkman. Sometimes you got to print it, Bill.
Got to use the mic.
Yes, the mic. So anyway, thank you. Yes, my name is Bill Volkman, and I'm the chairman of the Conservation Advisory Committee. And this is in regard to the grant we received. The Town of Kent Conservation Advisory Committee is pleased to announce that the CAC has been awarded a grant by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Hudson River Estuary Program for an amount of $49,960 to proceed with the project to create a natural resources inventory, which includes a complete biodiversity inventory addendum project to the NRI. We wanted to thank our town board members, all of you, especially Chris Ruthven, who is unfortunately not here tonight. He is our town board liaison to the CAC, as well as Caleb Duncan and his entire team at Millennium Strategies, who have worked with and will continue to provide their professional support to the CAC such that we fulfill all the requirements necessary for applying and receiving the grant. Additionally, we want to thank several supporters in the community for our NRI project who provided letters of support to this grant application, all of which were fundamental in showing the level of support we have for this project. And that includes Judy Terlizzi of the Putnam Land Trust, Michael Usai of the New York City Department of Environmental Protection. He is also a member of the Putnam Valley CCE. Sandy Galiff, who's our New York State Assemblywoman. Sue Serino, our New York State Senator. Mary Ellen Odell, our Putnam County Executive. Lori Taylor of the Putnam County Soil and Conservation District. Stephanie Hubert, Executive Director of the Cornell Cooperative Extension in Putnam County, and the Kent Conservation Foundation. These letters that all came in, again, they showed fundamental support for the purpose of this project. The grant was awarded to the town CAC will enable the CAC to proceed with the goal of a complete NRI project. The amount was just shy of the $50,000 limit. We didn't need the full $40. So, but the required matching grant funds will be provided in full by the dedicated volunteer work of two professional colleagues here in the town of Kent. Bill Buck is a recently retired botanist from the New York Botanical Garden, where he is a world-renowned expert on mosses and lichens, and Beth Hare is our resident naturalist, former director of the Ward Pound Ridge Park Nature and Education Program, and the former chair of the CAC. This volunteer work by them to produce a comprehensive biodiversity inventory of all plants and animals living in our region will not only become an addendum to the NRI, but is also expected to become a reference guide for this region in New York State. The DEC they want to see what they come up with, because this level of science hasn't been done in this region in quite a while. There's been dribs and drabs and pieces here and there, but this is a different approach. This is a more comprehensive approach. Bill and Beth are also working with fellow colleagues at various universities and museums, including, for example, the University of Connecticut and the Canadian Museum of Nature, and various other experts in different areas of flora and fauna identification to help properly identify many of the interesting and sometimes unique species being discovered right here in the town of Kent. We are fortunate to have such highly regarded professionals devoting their time to produce an important piece of this NRI project. As part of the volunteer project, the biodiversity piece, the CAC wants to state that the biodiversity inventory project is again volunteer-driven and is always on the lookout for additional volunteers who have an interest in coming out to help find and collect specimens, which are then analyzed, categorized, and recorded. If anyone has an interest, please reach out to the CAC, and we'll be glad to find a way to have you along anytime you're available. For information on how to contact our CAC biodiversity team, reach out to us at www.kentcac.info or email bill@bbuck@nybg.org. The NRI will compile information about the town's geology, topography, soils, streams, wetlands, forests, wildlife, historical, and archaeological sites. Completion of the NRI for the town is an important part of fulfilling a part of the 2008 Kent Comprehensive Plan and will become available for use by our municipal, town, and county planning agencies, interested community and watershed groups, developers, and residents. Certain applications of the NRI include public education, environmental review of development proposals, identification of conservation priorities, comprehensive plan update, zoning and subdivision, regulation updates, watershed assessment and planning, open space planning and acquisition, and critical environmental area designation. It is for these same purposes that the NRI is also an important part of meeting the goals of resiliency planning and the certification process for the New York State Climate Smart Communities program, which the town of Kent joined in November of 2019. So again, I thank everyone for their hard work. This was really great, and this is a big piece of filling in some of the gaps of land use planning for the town. So,
Bill, one question. You read off a bunch of people and agencies to help you, but did New York City DEP involved?
yeah, he was in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, they were enthusiastic. The DEP likes NRIs because they provide a list of natural resources and historic artifacts that are in the town or the county, the municipality that creates it.
Anytime they want to give money to the Kent Conservation, committee, they have a bank of money someplace there that want to make sure it comes to Kent. So keep an eye out for that.
Good. Good to
All
know.
right, in-kind service, anything to help us out.
From the DEP, you mean? Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, I've worked with a few people with the DEP on different aspects of the conservation work that we do, and they're all really great.
Good.
And very supportive of what we're doing. So it's, yeah.
Good job.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Good job.
I just want to
Ian?
make a brief comment. I thank you for recognizing everybody who helped out. And the last two items, the groundwork for the zombie hunter and this the hard work has been done by the people you mentioned and our employee and everything. But I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention a certain councilman on the other end of the board there who was harping away on grant writer, and zombie homes for year in, meeting out. It didn't matter if it was 11 p.m. and we were all ready to pack up. He would remind us, and it was that initiative that would the spark, right, that allows the hard work that you guys were doing and our employee with the zombie home. So I appreciate all the hard work, and just recognize Bill as the spark. And the town will miss him.
Just so you know, and we have conference calls with the grants writer at least once a month, Maureen and I,
Right.
And I drive the guy crazy, 'cause
I know, somebody's got to pick up that slack.
and Maureen knows it, because she started laughing, you know, at some of the last
I
comments.
have to mute my phone for a
She mutes her
while.
phone because she started. But I am a firm believer that for many, many years, and I've lived here, I'm the woodchuck that's lived here most of my life, for the 70 years, we've never taken outside funding, actively competitive funding. And there's big things coming if they all stay to it, stay with it. It's very time consuming. But Mr. Othmer's got bridge grants and park development grants. There's a bunch of things. And with the success of your efforts, the big dollars is there, and the DEC starting to wake up with their eyes, and they're going to see the town of Kent. That's what we need to do. And believe me, we see a lot of progress going on.
That's good. It's good. And I do appreciate the fact that you harped on getting a grant writer. It made a difference. It really
It
did.
took me months. She was tough.
But, you
But
know,
it's working, and the town attorney guided us to, you know, when we went through interviews, but we really have got something going, and I hope it continues for next year.
yeah, I hope so
Yeah.
too.
Thank you.
Regarding the actual contract, I sent you an email. I don't know if I pointed out some discrepancies that I saw in that. I don't know if you had a chance to review that.
I sent it to our esteemed council, and
Right.
yeah, so we're going to be working on that, and Caleb is also aware. We talked about it with Caleb this morning, so.
Okay. I think they're just simple oversights
Mm-hmm.
from our vendor who's going to be doing the NRI work, but we will,
Yeah,
I like my I's dotted and T's crossed.
absolutely,
So,
and we'll be following up this week.
yeah, cool. Thanks.
All right. Anyone else have anything? Do you want to read a grant?
Sure.
one?
You
Yeah.
want me to do this? All right. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution to accept the NYS, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Hudson River Estuary Program grant, whereas the NYSDEC Hudson River Estuary Program has awarded a grant in the amount of $49,960, the grant to the town of Kent, whereas the town board desires to accept the grant and approve and ratify any and all prior action taken by town officials in connection therewith. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby gratefully accepts the grant in the amount of $49,960, and it is further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. Be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves and ratifies all acts heretofore taken. We really want that hammered in by the town board, town supervisor, and any and all the town officials in connection with the subject grant. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Oh, you got announcements?
Well, after the vouchers.
Okay. I ask the town board to approve the following vouchers as of November 9th, 2021, that are over the threshold. As for our procurement purposes, Allstate V3.0, $3,867, electrical work at Ryan's Park. CNS Auto Service, $5,217.90 for tires. CNS Auto Service, $5,163.35 for tires. City Carting, $19,723.66 for Lake Carmel garbage. Civic Plus, $3,713.15 for a website renewal. F.I. Adams, Inc., $24,200 for drill and hammer rocks. I believe that's for the road work. Geneserve, $5,375.32 for repair, Water District 1. Geneserve, $8,392.55 for repair at the Water District. Global Montello Group, $5,162.21 for fuel. Hudson River Truck and Trailer, $9,191, the cost of a trailer. Hogan and Rossi, $5,416.63 for November legal services. Home Depot, $2,001.40 for leaf bags. Intercounty Paving Company, $414,928.91 for blacktop. Magna 5 MS, $3,251 for network service in August, $3,243 for network service September, $3,553.80 network service October, and Magna 5 MS, $3,516.10 network service November. Millennium Strategies, $2,250 for the grant service and the grants writer. NICOMCO, $2,846 for two-way radios for the Kent Police. The New York State Department of Civil Service, $209,435.17. That's the health insurance for the month of November. NISEC, $3,324.98 for electric at Ryans Park. NISEC, $5,035.88 for electric at Ryans Field. NISEC, $3,648.23 electric for the Kent Police.
What are you running over there, Chief Owens? What are you running over there?
Peckham Materials, $40,906.66 for blacktop. Peckham Materials, $22,271.27 for blacktop. Samair Inc., $3,250 for the e-waste program that we did a few weeks back. Sundog Signs, it's a repairing, I believe, our Kent sign, $3,200. I ask you to approve as read.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I have a few announcements. Food for Fines. This year, the Kent Library will participate in Food for Fines from November 1st to the 24th. Anyone with overdue fines can have $1 waived for every non-perishable item they donate to the library. This doesn't include replacement fees for lost or damaged items, and food will be donated to a local food pantry. This Thursday, November 11th, is Veterans Day, and as always, we will be having a Veterans Day ceremony at 9:30 a.m. at the Kent Veterans Memorial on Terry Hill Road. It's the Carmel VFW, the Auxiliary, the American Legion Post, a whole bunch of organizations sponsor it. Please come out and join us to honor our veterans. Lots happening on the 11th, actually. We also have the Kent Historical Society, the Old Schoolhouse at 407 Farmers Mill Road. Kent Lakes, New York is open on Veterans Day from 10 a.m. to noon. On Sunday, November 14th, they're going to have their 120-year celebration open house from noon to 3 p.m. And on Thanksgiving Day from noon to 3 p.m. So stop by and see the schoolhouse and the artifacts and take a tour of the grounds. There is a Veterans Appreciation at the Friends Book Sale, Saturday, November 13th from 11 to 2, special for military veterans. Fill a bag with books for $3 per bag. Non-veterans are also welcome to shop. And the highway superintendent has asked me to read this following public notice. In order to facilitate the removal of snow from the roads, streets, and highways within the town of Kent, hopefully not anytime soon, the overnight parking of vehicles on the roadways is hereby prohibited. Vehicles found parked on any such roads, streets, or highways will be issued a traffic summons and towed at the owner's expense. Residents of the town of Kent are also cautioned that should their vehicle become disabled during a snowstorm and abandoned, the operator must notify the Town of Kent Police Department forthwith, and such vehicle must be removed as soon as possible, or it will be towed at the owner's expense. This ban is in effect from November 15th through April 15th yearly. So let's hope we don't have any snow anytime soon, but whether we have snow or not, the regulation is still in effect. And that's all I have. You have something, Bill?
Just want to give, first of all, congratulations to the Kent Conservation. That was on my list. The other thing is, today we had, hopefully, I got to check with Frank, the engineers from Chasen, which were the low bidders for our engineering services, that they've are doing an overview of structural, mechanical, and environmental needs, as well as I added the ADA concerns, basic ADA concerns, because there's several in both facilities, the Old Town Hall and the Lake Carmel Community Center. And I gave it as much time as I could today, chasing these guys and shaking somebody up. I still haven't gotten a return call, but hopefully they did go to the Lake Carmel Community Center.
They got there like 2:30.
Yeah.
I don't know how far yet.
Okay, and they locked up or something, or, okay, because I don't want any overtime, we can't afford the overtime. But, and just so, because sometimes I get people that challenges us, the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to do the same thing that Kent Conservation Committee's doing. We're going to do our data, going to do our homework, and go for the big money, okay? But we need to have plans involved, and then we got to determine if the Lake Carmel Community Center, do we keep it or do we demolish it? You know, they had severe water damage into the walls and the floor, and we found some other things that I'm not going to bring up, but I'm trying to get these reports in so we can send it to the administration for next year, because we're winding down here, but it's something I want to try and get done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, public comment. Anybody want to come up and talk about stuff going on?
Just two quick things. First, more or less a question, I'm not sure if you can answer tonight. Is there any news, any update that can be shared from the board about the proposed bus garage and the project that's going on?
Not yet.
Thank you. And the second thing is a reminder, I've said this at past few meetings, please again. I could give you dates, but it has been over 4 years that the dock behind 18 town court has been approved by the town board to be removed, and it's still there, so please work on that, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
One more thing. So I see him in the back there. And it relates to grants. We applied for a Kent Police scam grant. Many of our elderly, we have a high percentage of elderly in our county. I'm there now, okay? And they're getting ripped off with scams. And we wrote up a grant application through ARP and was actively competitive nationwide. We did not get it. So what do? You go find another funding agency, and that application, Kevin, I don't know if but we're going to resubmit it, and it's going to a local tri-county funder that we might have a godfather in, or godmother, excuse me. But it's important. We got a lot of lonely and isolated people that are getting ripped off with these con artists that are, you know, they're actors, and they convince that your grandson has been kidnapped or grandson is in a car accident. Anyway, we're resubmitting again, but Kevin, I'm going to need your help to follow through, because I think it's a big thing for the Kent seniors if this comes on, and it can be replicated statewide, countywide. I think it's going to be important, so I'm going to need your help to stay with this. That's all. You can kick me or keep me quiet.
I'm sitting too far. Okay, do I hear a motion?
I would like to go into executive session. No? No? Well, let me yet? Jeez.
We have little ones.
You want,
Oh.
what do you need, Bill?
Huh? All right.
How much time do you
Oh, wait.
need?
Okay, I understand. I'll do it next week.
How much time do you need?
Yeah, I was
We
just
can do it
concerned.
before the next meeting.
Yeah, why don't we do it?
Right?
Okay.
Well, do you have, how much time do you need?
No, I'm fine. I can wait till next week. I only got 5 more weeks, and then it's somebody else's problem.
I mean, if we all leave, you can have it in here, right? And then
Oh, no,
they
we
can
can-
move.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, we can go.
I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
realize.
it's fine. I can,
That was the only reason.
No,
Can we allow 3 extras in the room?
I withdraw my request.
we can move to discuss something. That's fine.
No, I will move till next week. No problem.
Okay, all right. We'll have an executive session before the meeting next week.
And then one of them's not moving.
So in case the TV audience just thinks we might be like being rude or something. We have 3 young Kent residents here this evening that are related to one of our board members.
One is sleeping.
And one is sleeping, so
The worst one is sleeping, that's why they seem very well behaved.
they have been exceptionally behaved. I kind of expected one of them to come up during public comment, but that was not the
How many
case.
meetings do we have left?
We got 3, so
All right.
maybe next week. All right.
No problem. I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week on the 16th.